Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Soul Seeds, where Brandi is my guest expert for today. And Brandi is psychic medium mentor, so that sounds awesome. And I would love to know, because we are discussing the topic developing psychic abilities, hard to say as a Dutch, Dutch person, sorry. But I would love to know, like, what are some of the ways that we can enhance our psychic abilities?
Sure. So first off, thanks so much for having me here today.
Thank you.
So I noticed when I was very young and I was having these psychic abilities that there was really nobody to turn to.
Mm,
I don't know how it is where you are. I'm in the United States, so it's a very taboo subject. A lot of people don't talk about it. So I was like, I'm gonna just keep this to myself because if not, people will think I'm crazy. And once I got into my 20s, I realized that I had a really amazing gift and I wanted to help people and help them heal and comfort them. So I started to look into how I could develop my ability.
mm,
I was reading a ton of books. I was watching a lot of TV shows. I was taking these like little 1 hour classes, but they really like underdeveloped and over delivered. So, or
mm.
sorry, over, they just they weren't what I needed. I couldn't learn how to
Right,
develop my ability in 1 hour, right?
right.
So I decided to get a mentor. And
Mhm.
once I found my mentor, my abilities just skyrocketed. And so now I want to do that for other people because it's much easier than, the psychic realm. There's so much out there, there's so much terminology, there's so much to learn. And so you can buy all these books and do all these 1 hour classes, but then you kind of have to put it all together yourself.
Mm,
And you
right.
don't even have anyone to ask if you're like on the right path or if you're doing things correctly. So
Mhm.
I created this 90-day mentorship program so that if somebody is lost, like I was, like, where do I even get started? And they're totally overwhelmed and frustrated by all the choices out there.
Mhm.
They can go through my program where I'm with them every step of the way. And I know it works because it's the same path that I took to become a medium. And so I do mediumship readings as well. But I wanted to take it that step further to help people. So
Mm,
really the best thing I would say to develop your psychic ability is to realize that we all have it.
mm,
So a lot of people, I get that question all the time, are we all psychic? And yes, we are, because the word psychic is also your sixth sense, which
mhm.
is your intuition. And we're all born with intuition, which means we all are psychic. We're all born with this. But if you don't realize the signs to look out for, you might not realize that you're having psychic experiences. You might think they're just like everyday human ones.
Right.
So I actually created a fun little quiz. If your audience wants to go to my website, it's brandyvan.com, and they can sign up for their quiz and they get this PDF, and it's basically showing you what a psychic experience is so
Mhm.
that you can see like, oh, I have had these and these are not everyday human ones like I
Mhm.
thought they
Right.
were. So just to give an example, like if you ever have gone into a room and you just get like a bad vibe from it, or if you feel someone's watching you but then you turn
Mm,
around and there's nobody there, or that sense of deja vu, if you've ever had that, that is all your intuition. Those are your psychic abilities. And then I also have the quiz broken up into the type of psychics, because a lot of people don't realize that we all have a unique one. So, like, I'm a medium, I can talk to deceased loved ones, but
mhm.
somebody else might be a healer and somebody else might be a medical intuitive. So, it also breaks it up into like, what type of psychic am I, depending on how many of these experiences that I've had. So that's the first thing. If you don't know what to look out for, you don't realize that you're having them. And then, of course, I would say you need to be open minded, because a lot of people, if they are closed minded, they shut that
Mhm.
kind of part of their body off. And so
Right.
they can't really connect then. So definitely having an open mind, and then also having a belief in yourself, because if you don't have self trust, then you won't be able to trust any messages that are coming in from your spirit guides or from the spirit realm. So a lot of it is building on self trust, ridding yourself of any fears you might be having, of anxiety that you might be having, and really that fear of the unknown.
Mhm.
Because I think that we're really conditioned to be afraid of the unknown, and
Right.
we're conditioned of, a fear of failure or a fear of rejection from others or a fear of judgment. So these are fears that you really need to work through, because I look back at my journey, and if I had been afraid and kept that fear my whole life, I would now not be able to do these readings for people, which
Right.
is really beautiful. I can give these readings of people that, need closure, or they just get comfort from talking to their deceased loved one. And if I would have held back, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, yeah,
Mm.
as long as you have an interest in it and you keep that open mind and you believe in yourself and in the spirit realm, anybody can do this. It's just like any other muscle in your body that can be developed.
Mm. And needs to be trained.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. So just like going to the gym, right? Like you're gonna go
Yeah.
every day. It's not gonna happen overnight. Give yourself that time and compassion and practice, and you'll definitely start to see a big difference.
Mm.
And it just opens up a whole new way of living, which to me
And
is
a whole
like
new
an
world, a
amazing way.
5D world.
Yes, yes, it really is. And
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
great way to live, it's just a
Mm.
whole nother way of looking at things and realize that, we're so much bigger than just ourselves. We're all
Mm.
connected. We're here to help each other. And that connection to the universe, there's really
Mm.
nothing that compares to it.
Mm. I agree. And I would love to know what is the difference between being like very intuitive or high sensitive and being psychic.
Sure. So highly sensitive people usually refer to themselves as empaths.
Mhm.
A true empath would be like, I slap you across the face and the other person feels it. I mean, that's a true empath. They would actually be able to feel your pain.
Right.
So highly sensitive people are people who have that intuitive sense that they're able to connect with themselves very well, that mind body connection,
Mm.
but they also might get a message. So they might hear something, they might feel something, they might even see an image of something. So they're
Mhm.
realizing that they can pick up on these other energies. But they just don't usually know what to do with that. So whether it's an energy coming from a spirit or
Mhm.
whether you're around other people and you're picking up on their energy, highly sensitive people can really pick up on that energy, and it can really make them depleted. Like they can just get so overwhelmed by all of that energy that they need to go home and maybe like take a nap or be alone by themselves, or yeah, like hydrate and all of that, because like all that energy, it's like
Mhm.
too much to handle. So it's really
Yeah.
important to know how to like make a bubble around yourself so that way the energy doesn't affect you. It's
Mhm.
important to know how to restore the energy once you get home. So yeah, highly sensitive people, which they say is about 25% of the population, so
Mhm.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, if you don't know what to do with it or protect yourself, and then it can actually harm you, harm your health, harm your mental well-being. So it
Mhm.
is something really important. Now that's different from intuitives, because an intuitive, not only, I mean, they could feel the energy of someone else, but they also get feelings of like caution. So let's
Mhm.
say I'm talking to someone and I can tell that they're lying to me, and so you get that little gut feeling inside of you that's like, okay, I know this person is not
Mhm.
truthful. So they get those little like downloads, if you want to
Right.
call them, or those little tips that they can actually use in their life to help them and guide them so that they don't get themselves into like a bad situation.
Mhm.
So that can give them a lot of guidance on the here and now and in their future.
And is there also a sense of fear to develop those skills because of the fear of the unseen?
Absolutely. That's the
Mhm.
biggest thing. Our society has taught us that, to keep safe, to have our logical brain be in the driver's seat, to look at facts and logic and critical thinking. And we've never really been taught to listen to our body. And our body and our soul and our heart is really what's telling us what we want deep down.
Mhm.
It's not afraid of what people think of it, and it's really leading you to live your most authentic life. But a
Mhm.
lot of people are afraid of that, because of that fear of the unknown or the unseen. So they have that fear, but the more you get into spirituality, the more trust you have in yourself, the more trust you have in the unknown and in the unseen. And then you just kind of release, let go, and let the universe help. Because, we have these spirit guides on the other side. We have a whole team of spirits that are here to help us,
Yeah.
and they want to make our life easier and they want to help us. But if you don't know how to communicate with them, you can feel
Mhm.
very alone and you're missing out on their guidance. And it's
Mhm.
like, if I have this whole team believing in me, why
Mhm.
would I not believe in myself, right? So
Right.
it just
Yeah.
gets you to look at it differently and to really start trusting in things that you can't see.
And when you open up to all that and see what the universe and like your spirit guides are constantly trying to communicate with you, you're like, you see it all the time, all of a sudden.
Yes. And
And
it
that's
makes you
really
feel
nice.
like you're a part of a team. It makes you feel not so
Mhm,
lonely, and it makes life easier. Like it just helps your life flow easier and gives you more energy.
mhm,
And it just gives you like, like a cheerleader that's just like, cheering you on and they're there for you. So it's really a beautiful relationship.
mhm. Yeah, I always visualize my spirit team as like a team of cheerleaders with these pom-poms.
Yes.
I
Mine
don't know if
dance
they
a
like
lot.
that, but yeah, that's how I see them.
Yeah. Mine are mainly dancers. They like dance a lot.
Awesome. And I would love to know how you can make this more like a daily routine or like a habit to enhance those psychic abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I go through in my mentorship program as well, because just like anything else, like the example with the gym, if you go
Mhm.
once a week, you're
Mhm.
not going to get as better a good a result as if you went every single
Yeah,
day.
well, a
So
lot
of course,
slower at least.
and you can break that connection. So yeah, daily habits are really important.
Mhm.
And the first ones are like really small. You don't even realize that you're really developing your intuition. It could just be like going for a mindfulness walk, like realizing every step that you're taking, feeling your feet go into the ground, look at the colors around you. What are you smelling? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And really paying attention instead of just living passively. I mean, that's
Mhm.
something that seems really easy, excuse me, but that can actually develop it. Also, like being out in nature, meditating, of course, is a huge one, doing breath work. But, once you start working with a mentor, they'll give you exercises. And so that's
Mhm.
what I do. I give them exercises on how to ground themselves spiritually. Like for myself, like I'll meditate in the morning. I envision that all negative energy is getting out of my space. Then I ground myself. Then I protect myself with a white light bubble.
Mhm.
So there's certain things you can do to protect your energy and to really get into a positive mindset. You can read
Mhm.
positive affirmations, create a vision board. I have like 3 vision boards. I love reading them every day. They give me such positivity
Mhm.
because we have these negative thoughts just like automatically in our mind. But when you can start to change those because you start reading positive affirmations every day, when a negative one pops in, it's an automatic positive one will come in. So it really
Mhm.
changes your thinking as well. So yeah, those are just a couple of things, but
Mhm.
I do recommend, even if they don't use me as their mentor, definitely get a mentor. It's the easiest way to go. It's going to accelerate your process, and you have someone to ask questions and to help you
Mhm.
along the way. So it's just so much easier than reading a ton of books. I hate when
Yeah.
the books are like, close your eyes and now do this exercise. It's like, okay, but now my eyes are closed.
Yeah, I can't read anymore with my eyes closed. Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
much easier whenever you have someone to work with.
Yeah, it's all about like creating that like awareness, but also that connection to your well, to your core, really.
Yes, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people are like, oh, I'm afraid my intuition will lead me the wrong way.
Mm,
And even if it does, even if there is a wrong decision,
mm,
you have to see it as even if I don't understand it now, you might understand it later.
mm,
Or, maybe it doesn't seem right now, but like this is still the path to where I want to get to. So it
mm,
might seem wrong, but anytime that you're trying to have personal growth and self development, there's really
mm.
nothing wrong with that. I think that people kind of look at that wrong.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Brandy. Thank you.
Yes.